Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Vastudarshata Srimad Bhaktisaranga Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. ISKCON DVD Founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Giri Raj Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dhamma Ki Jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dhamma Ki Jai. Shri Ayodhya Dhamma Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dhamma Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Yagna Ki Jai. Transcendental Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Cow Protection Ki Jai. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Magnati Varandasya Kanjaya Shakya Chachurumitane Tasma Shri Prabhu. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 18. Svashantarupe Shritanai Svarupe. Svashantarupe Shritanai Svarupe. Abhyagyamanis Anukampitatma. Abhyagyamanis Anukampitatma. Paravaresho Madham Sayukto. Paravaresho Madham Sayukto. Hiyajo Bijato Bhagavan Yatagnihi. Hiyajo Bijato Bhagavan Yatagnihi. Svashantarupe Shritara Svarupe. Abhyagyamanis Anukampitatma. Paravaresho Mahadam Sayukto. Ihajo Bijato Bhagavan Yatagnihi. Swashantarupeshu. Under the peaceful devotees of the Lord. Itarai. Others. Non-devotees. Swarupe. According to their own modes of nature. Abhyagyamena maneshu. Being harassed by. Anukampita Atma. The all-compassionate Lord. Para-avara. Spiritual and material. Ishaha. Controller. Mahat Amsa Yuktaha. Accompanied by the plenary portion of Mahatattva. He certainly. Ajaha. The unborn. Api. Although. Jataha. Is born. Bhagavan. The personality of Godhead. Yatha. as if Agni, the fire. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of all the spiritual and material creation, is unborn. But when there is friction between His peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, He takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the Mahat Tattva. Please repeat. The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creations, is unborn. But when there is friction between His peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, He takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the Mahat Tattva. The devotees of the Lord are by nature peaceful, because they have no material hankering. A liberated soul has no hankering, and therefore he has no lamentation. One who wants to possess also laments when he loses his possession. Devotees have no hankerings for material possessions, and no hankerings for spiritual salvation. They are situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord as a matter of duty. They do not mind where they are or how they have to act. Karmis, Jnanis and Yogis all hanker to possess some material or spiritual assets. Karmis want material possessions. Jnanis and Yogis want spiritual possessions. But devotees do not want any material or spiritual assets. They want only to serve the Lord anywhere in the material or spiritual worlds that the Lord desires. And the Lord is always specifically compassionate towards such devotees. The Karmis, Jnanis and Yogis have their particular mentalities in the modes of nature, and therefore they are called Itara, or non-devotees. These Itaras, including even the Yogis, sometimes harass the devotees of the Lord. Durvasa Muni, a great yogi, harassed by Maharaj Amrish, because the latter was a great devotee of the Lord, and the great Karmi and Jnani, Hiranyakashipu, even harassed his own Vaishnava son, Prahlad Maharaj. There are many instances of such harassment of the peaceful devotees of the Lord, are the Itaras. When such friction takes place, the Lord, out of His great compassion towards His pure devotees, appears in person, accompanied by His plenary portions controlling the Mahat Tattva. The Lord is everywhere, in both the material and spiritual domains, and He appears for the sake of His devotees when there is friction between His devotee and the non-devotee. As electricity is generated by friction of matter anywhere and everywhere, the Lord, being all-pervading, appears because of the friction of the devotees and non-devotees. When Lord Krishna appears on a mission, all His plenary portions accompany Him. When He appeared as a son of Vasudeva, there were differences of opinion about His incarnation. Some said He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some said He is an incarnation of Narayan, and others said He is the incarnation of Kishora Vishnu. But actually, He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, and Narayan, the Purushas, and all other incarnations accompany Him to function as different parts of His pastimes. Mahadhamsha Yuktaha indicates that he is accompanied by the Purushas who create the Mahat Tattva. It is confirmed in the Vedic hymns, Mahantam Vipum Atmanam. Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity. When there is friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasena, Vasudeva and Ugrasena were the Lord's devotees. And Kamsa, the representative of the Karmis and Gyanis, was a non-devotee. Krishna, as he is compared to the sun. He first appeared from the ocean of the womb of Devaki, and gradually he satisfied the inhabitants of the places surrounding Mathura. Just as the sun enlivens the lotus flower in the morning, after gradually rising to the meridian of Dwaraka, the Lord set like the sun, placing everything in darkness as described by Uddhava. I read the verse again. The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creation, is unborn. But when there is friction between his peaceful devotees and persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the Mahat Tattva. This is a very beautiful purport about Krishna's appearances and disappearances. And what does he do, and the reasoning behind. Krishna is the original Swayam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the source of all incarnations. He is not an avatar, he is an avatari. Everything emanates from him. And in Brahma Samhita, the primal living entity in this universe, Lord Brahma himself, establishes Krishna's supremacy as the original avatari. So all avatars, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, Mahat Tattva, and the Purusha avatars appear. And from the Purusha avatars, all the other avatars, Lila avatars, Guna avatars, they all come for a particular function or purpose to help the devotees. And also Krishna has a particular purpose, agenda, to maintain this cosmic manifestation. He is the ultimate controller, Ishvaraha, Paramaha, Krishna, Sachitananda Vigraha, Anadi Adi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karana, cause of all causes, Ishvaraha, Paramaha, the supreme controller, and he is the eternal, transcendental, blissful personality. He is the ultimate provider and maintainer of all living entities, all sentient beings. So, very deep philosophy in this. Krishna himself establishes himself in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the supreme Brahman, Param Brahman. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, and we are eternal fragmental parts of him. Very beautiful verses in chapter 2, and as we go up, as we study the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna actually explains the position of the jivas. On the other hand, since Krishna's devotees also situated in the material world, for many reasons, we have many different levels of devotees, as we know from the Shastras, and from nectar of devotion also, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We have the Nitya Siddhas, who come here to liberate and enlighten all living entities. They're not subjected to the three modes of material nature. Then we have the Kripa Siddhi, who attain perfection by the causeless mercy of Guru and Gauranga, Lord Krishna himself. they're very rare, but sometimes happens. That Lord gives causeless mercy and elevates the devotee into a highest realm of perfection, siddhi, perfection. And then we have the sadhana siddhi, which everyone has the chance. If we are loyal and faithful and practicing nicely under the guidance of the spiritual master, by the blessings of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, we come to the perfection also. So everyone has a chance. Krishna is very kind to all living entities. Being in the material world, we're facing calamities and difficulties at many different levels, individually and collectively. And it is not just an external battle between the devotees and the asuras, itaras, Prabhupada says, and Vyasadeva says, itara means non-devotees who are envious by nature. But it is also an internal battle. Because as we know, again, reading the Puranas, not to speak of Srimad Bhagavatam, that asuras were taking birth in different universes in periods, kalpas, and times. As we enter in this particularly Kali Yuga, the demoniac quality is taking birth also within us. So we have the divine qualities and the demoniac qualities between us, within us. So demigods and the asuras were situated in different planetary systems. They used to have a cosmic battle, and sometimes the asuras were conquering, sometimes the devas were conquering, and this is when the devas taking shelter of Lord Vishnu. And as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, when Krishna comes, he brings the Mahati Tattva, his various expansions for particular function, just like Narasingha Dev, so many great personalities, Varaha Dev, for a particular function, a particular purpose. But behind this is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is not directly involved in this. Although he comes time to time, he comes as himself, Krishna himself, and he comes as a golden avatar, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none different from Krishna himself. And he does not come in every Kali Yuga, as we all know. He comes once in the day of Brahma, after Krishna's appearance. So this particular Kali Yuga, regardless of the externals we're experiencing, the upheavals of the material world, it's actually a very special and blessed Kali Yuga. There's a clearing stage, as you can see. There's a lot of purification happening worldwide, and the devotees see the positive, see the light at the end of the tunnel, because we can see this is just a transit for a better time. We call mini Satya Yuga. It's a Satya Yuga coming up, according to the prediction of Mahaprabhu, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and gradually manifest. So devotees may have to tolerate some upheavals and difficulties with asuric elements in the material world, but before we can do that, we have to conquer the asuras within ourselves. See, because like I said, in previous ages, the asuras were different planetary systems, and the devas in another planetary system. But in Kali Yuga, the demons actually taking birth within us also. So the devas, the divine qualities, and the asuri qualities are having a battle on a daily basis, actually every moment. So there is some kind of a ferocious fight there, like two dogs fighting each other. So if we feed the good side of our heart, the divine qualities, then we become strong, inspired, focused, and we get energized and supported by the divine blessings of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Guru and Gauranga. This is when the Sankirtan mission will take place, when we actually individually and of course collectively become strong in our devotion to Krishna. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj offers many prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev to remove these asuri qualities. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namaste Tejase Ravi Ravi Bhava Vajanaka Vajanamsa Karmashaya Randaya Randaya Tamakasa Om Swaha Om Sharum. Translation: I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanish our demon-like desires for fruitive activities in this material world. Please appear in our hearts, drive away our ignorance. Drive away our ignorance. So he makes it very clear. So that we can peacefully practice devotion service. He removes the obstacles for the devotees, removes these asuric, demonic qualities which are bothering us. We may not realize it consciously, but in the subconscious, there's something pulling us back to the material world. Wish I could do this, wish I could do that. We're lamenting. But if you become advanced in Krishna consciousness, in devotional consciousness, no more lamenting and hankering, no more lamenting. We're just simply grateful. This is another level of realization. We become so grateful to Srila Prabhupada, to our spiritual masters, and the assembly of the devotees. We're depending on each other, so we help each other. So we are very grateful to all the devotees. We can be in the Sangha, we can practice Krishna consciousness nicely, and gradually purify these asuri qualities from our heart. Then of course Krishna is ready to help us in every way. If we are truly honest, sincere, pure devotees, He will protect us, just like He protected Prahlad Maharaj. Just like He protected Ambrish Maharaj by the Sudarshan Chakra. So that's a very beautiful story in the Bhagavatam. Ambrish Maharaj was a great Raja Rishi, very saintly and pure-hearted. Extraordinary, because generally kings and Kshatriyas, they have a lot of pride, which may not be natural for them because they are more governed by the Raja Guna. They're powerful and they have to be conquerors. But they were respectful to the Brahmins. But Ambrish Maharaj was a Raja, Rishi. He was a saintly king, extraordinary. There are some good examples in the Shastras about great kings who were very saintly and loved. Number one example is Lord Ramachandra, Ramaraj, who was exhibiting all the topmost qualities of a saintly king, emperor. And because of him, in Treta Yuga, a Varna ashram system started manifesting. In such a yuga, Varna ashram was not absolutely necessary because everyone was in the mode of goodness, great rishis, and lots of meditation, tapasya, a very pure atmosphere. But in Treta Yuga, some of the qualities are manifesting already, lower qualities, Raja, some level of Tama, the Asuras were appearing. So Ramachandra established his kingdom by his divine instructions and gradually manifested the Varnas and Ashrams. Because these are qualities, certain tendencies, certain natures, for society to function correctly and healthily. This is not just some kind of a theory, okay, we have the Brahmins, we have the Kshatriyas. No, it's actually a natural thing. We all fit in somewhere by karma guna, by nature. Of course, it's difficult for us to see because we're just sadhakas, we're learning about Krishna consciousness. But as we come to the platform of goodness, we also fit into our natural position where we can do the best service to Krishna. It's not just some kind of a bodily conception of life, I'm a Brahmin, I'm a Kshatriya, Vaishya. No, this is to help our devotional service. Because if you have the Brahminical qualities, obviously you can do excellent service as a preacher or a teacher or archa vigraha. So many things you can do. And if you happen to be a Vaishya, if you offer that service to Krishna, therefore Srila Prabhupada makes it clear, Daivi Vajra, Daivi ashram. So it's based on pleasing the Purusha, the Supreme Purusha, Krishna himself. He also says it, if you really understand who Krishna is. He's our best friend, he's the supreme enjoyer, Purusha, and he's the supreme proprietor. So if we understand this, we become peaceful, individually and collectively. No more lamenting and hankering, as Srila Prabhupada says here. The noble devotee does not hanker, lament. Even if there's a mistake, we learn from a mistake and look forward. We don't lament, oh, I've done this, I've done that. What can we do? We learn from wise devotees, experienced devotees, advanced devotees. We can have a mentor. We can take shelter of advanced devotees. We can take a form of shiksha. We can take a diksha. So all the help is there given by Mahaprabhu. So then we can break through this fog of illusion in the material world and focus on our individual objective, which is to go back to Godhead, and also to help others. We have to share this knowledge, not just because of a sense of duty to our gurus and Mahaprabhu, that there's a mission here, a noble mission, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but even just out of love and compassion. How can we not preach Krishna consciousness? We have to touch people's lives. We have to have an impact on them with our own personal purity and collective purity also. When Krishna says that we worship the deities nicely, take care of the cows, we serve one another with love and respect, then we get empowered. Krishna will be present in our Sangha. That's what we want. We want to invite Mahaprabhu to our Sangha. Just like when we go on Harinam, I've realized many times actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. He makes himself so accessible through the chanting. I never feel that in any other position. Only when we are there and have direct contact with the material world, confronting the material world, and we utter the holy name, chant the holy name sincerely for everyone's benefit. The devotees feel so blissful, so satisfied. And we come back, we appreciate the devotees. We are grateful to Srila Prabhupada, the lordships, for blessing us on a daily basis. So when we have darshan, Krishna is so kind to us, he's blessing us. Often, sometimes you see Radharani holds her hand like this. Sometimes holds a flower, depends on the lila. She's giving the blessings of to all living entities. In Sydney Temple, Radha Gopinath, Radharani holds her. She's blessing us every time. That's what we are very, very important for us, individually and collectively, to have darshan of the Lord every day and offer prayers in your heart. Offer some prayers to Krishna. Krishna is listening to you. And pray for strength. Pray for purity. And also so that you can actually do some service to Srila Prabhupada's mission. Because it's a great privilege. You know, if you've been in American for a while, you know that it's a great privilege to participate, do any service, washing the pots or anything. It's a great privilege. It's beyond words. You have to feel this, you have to realize this. And this is our individual mission, to realize the privilege we have here. And we can realize it if we study Srila Prabhupada's books and understand the Siddhanta. We can appreciate, we can feel this, we can feel the gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, to our spiritual masters, and to Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Very, very kind to us, Gauranga. Actually, it's all because of them that we are here. They're very kind to us and very forgiving, merciful. And that mercy comes down in many levels. We have the Shastras, we have the Vaishnavas, we have the Prasadam, we have the deities, we have a whole process. We call Angas, elements. They are the building blocks of devotional service. And so the sadhaka, that can, us as sadhakas, we can develop ourselves. We become actually real lovers of Krishna. and faithful servant of our spiritual master. Wow, this is amazing. If we can realize this, then we are on the right track. So, Ambrish Maharaj was offended by Durvasa Muni, who was a very proud mystic. He was a partial manifestation, expansion of Lord Shiva. So he was very powerful, mystic Brahmin, and he had all kinds of mystic opulences, cities, and he was very proud. So he could not see the importance of respecting a Vaishnava. So this is when, of course, Krishna appeared like fire. Exactly. Sudarshan Chakra appeared. So Sudarshan Chakra chased Durvasa, great mystic. So Krishna, if he sees that his devotee is in trouble, he appears like fire, as Prabhupada says. Sukadeva Goswami, just like fire. He can just appear, just like Lord Narasimhadev appeared. Many slokas in the Shastras glorifying the appearance of the Lord, and especially the protective forms like Varaha, Narasimha, Sudarshan. They definitely come here to protect the devotees, even externally, to protect the devotees' personal mission, which is to develop themselves in Krishna consciousness, and a collective mission of Mahaprabhu, which is really to push on the Sankirtan mission, which is a great benediction. If you read the HG Sastra Caksus every day, if you truly meditate on these verses, Krishna is Mahaprabhu is blessing us, giving benedictions. So let's distribute this mercy, and we also get the attention of Mahaprabhu. More blessing comes. It's an ongoing process, never ending. So it's ongoing ecstasy for the Sankirtan devotees. There's no such a thing you can stop with distribution. We can just carry on and spread Krishna consciousness. And we feel very happy, and we feel that we contributed something to the mission. And Sankirtan devotees know that this is they know, they get realizations that this is what we have to do really, to spread Mahaprabhu's mission in every way. Not just through direct preaching activities, but any service you have, you can contribute to the mission of Mahaprabhu. So it's a great service. Any service is great. It's directed to Krishna. And so the devotees work within their own art. We have to be vigilant. We have to detect the negative qualities which are pulling us back, the asuras, and overcome by knowledge, by studying Srila Prabhupada's books, inquiring from advanced devotees, serve the devotees, and pray to Krishna to please remove these demonic qualities. Just like Lord Narasimhadev, who is ready to remove the demonic desires through the activities, like when we just want to be selfish and just to disregard the process of Krishna consciousness, absorb ourselves in materialistic pursuits and whatever. That's not good for us because it doesn't satisfy the self, and we're just wasting valuable time. As devotees, now we should realize that the time is very valuable. We cannot waste it. And the whole world needs us, especially now. We're entering a time, we all see it clearly, that the world is getting tested. Like I said earlier, that we're going through a transit of purification. It's like a tunnel, but eventually come out to the mini-Satya Yuga. That Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also predicted it. So it's important that we develop ourselves, collectively also, set up the farms nicely, and at the same time spread Krishna consciousness. And we know this, but it's important that we remind ourselves on a daily basis, so we don't lose sight. We have to remember this. And just like Srila Prabhupada in the last paragraph, it says, Lord Krishna appeared just like electricity. When there was friction between Kamsa and Vasudeva and Ugrasena, Vasudeva and Ugrasena were the Lord's devotees, and Kamsa, a representative of the Karmis and Gyanis, was a non-devotee. Krishna, as he is compared to the sun. So we can see when we bring Krishna into our heart, we have illumination, knowledge. So Krishna protects us in every way. So we have to have that faith. One time, one devotee, in real conversation, in the early days, in the late 60s, asked Srila Prabhupada, what's the definition of full surrender? What is the definition of full surrender to Krishna? Does that mean that we are very busy, working all day, all night? And Srila Prabhupada said, not necessarily. The definition of full surrender, that we always feel the protection of Krishna every moment. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he had no doubt that Narayan is everywhere, Lord Krishna. Narayan. And so Krishna is protecting us. If we have faith, then definitely we have a realization there. So today also, Lalita, Srimati Lalita's appearance. She's one of the 8 principal gopis, a direct expansion of Srimati Radharani. I'll just keep it short because we don't have much time. You can read many, Rupa Goswami has many writings about Lalita Devi and all other principal gopis. And interestingly, Rupa Goswami himself, in his original Nitya Swarupa, transcendental state, is known as Rupa Manjari. And Rupa Manjari was the direct servant of Lalita Devi. So you can see. And Srila Prabhupada says in many purports that we are Rupa Nugas. So we are followers of Rupa Goswami, we are teachers. And Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, is a direct servant of, chief follower of Lalita Devi. And Lalita, Srimati Lalita, is a direct servant of Srimati Radharani. So we basically, if you can track it back, we are humble followers of Lalita Devi. Because Rupa Goswami. So she's very dear to all the devotees, especially devotees who really love Radha and Krishna. So the aim is to love Radha and Krishna, of course. And the Manjaris, as we know, the Manjaris are very dear and exalted personalities. They're serving the gopis. The gopis are very close to Krishna, so they get all the utmost attention of Krishna. But the Manjaris, they're in the background serving, facilitating. Just like Vrinda Devi, Srimati Vrinda Devi. Why we worship Vrinda Devi? Vrinda Devi is again a direct expansion of Srimati Radharani, but she's facilitating. She's the best friend of Radharani, one of the best friends of Radharani, and she's very dear to Krishna. So much so that Radharani became a bit cautious. So Krishna, she's taking Krishna away from me. So there was a beautiful lila. She appeared in the material world as Tulsi Devi. So, but she's an expansion of Radharani, and Tulsi Devi, this Tulsi plant here, she's an expansion of Vrinda Devi. So you can see it coming down, so we can actually nurture love. She comes in a very innocent little plant, but she's actually helping us. She's giving us bhakti and devotion and love. And so the great Manjaris, gopis, they're helping us to develop the unalloyed, pure, unconditional love, what we're all seeking ultimately, to Radha and Krishna. So Lalita Devi, she's actually the ultimate guru for us. Because even Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami follows Lalita Devi. So, and then of course all the acharyas, they're coming down especially after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the great Mahabhagavatacharyas, to the present day of our spiritual masters, representing this powerful line of bhakti, which is very rare, because Gaudiya Vaishnavism is a very special Vaishnavism, because like you see, we have the conservative classic sampradayas like Sri Sampradaya, Sanat Kumar, see, we have the Rudra Sampradaya, and of course we have the Brahma Sampradaya. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to come to the Sampradaya of Lord Brahma, because Lord Brahma himself is such a great devotee. Great devotee. So, so this Sampradaya extra special. And ultimately, this is the real thing, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared and blessed the Sampradaya. So he simplified the Vaishnava Siddhanta for us and gave us the ultimate platform of chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Sankirtan Yagnam. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Yagnam. And as we all know from Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami also often quotes that in this, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally stated, in this day of Kali Yuga, there's no other way, there's no other way except chanting the holy names of Krishna. So we chant the holy names of Krishna sincerely from the heart and for the benefit of others. This is when the mercy comes. This is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself will deliver us. It is possible to go back to Godhead in this life. It is not, we make it so difficult for ourselves thinking this way, that way. No, we have to have full faith in Lord Chaitanya's mercy, full faith, and He'll deliver us. But we have to have that faith. We have to have that innocent, pure attachment to Guru and Gauranga. And the spiritual master represents Mahaprabhu's mercy, Nityananda Prabhu's, and Radharani's mercy. You can see the spiritual master is the total sum of all the mercy we can get. Radharani himself, Lord Nityananda, and Lalita Devi, because like I said, we follow the line of Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami, we are Rupa Nugas. So, and Srila Prabhupada himself represents Rupa Goswami because of his teachings, and you can see. And of course, the 6 Goswamis, they are the great teachers for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, all of them. Jiva Goswami, written many 400,000 slokas on the glorification of Radha and Krishna. A very good one, Gopal Champu, the many famous writings about Krishna's pastimes, Radharani, Raghunath Das Goswami, Garga Samhita, who Krishna is and his dealings with Radharani and the gopis and Lalita Devi. So let's pray today for the mercy of Lalita Devi. And in Mayapur there's a big celebration for that, because they have the 8 principal gopis, Radha Madhava. So it's a real ecstasy for the devotees. So if we take shelter of Lalita, we definitely moving closer to the ultimate goal, and which is loving purely, unconditionally Radha and Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Is any questions or comments quickly? Rantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Lalita Devi ki jai.